Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and I have done the unthinkable. I saw something that I was quite interested in on eBay, but not that interested in. I put a bid on, very low bid to be honest, and I actually won it. And I won it for £5.20, and it is an absolute heap of rust. So I'm in the Super Skoda, I've got my tools, I've got some ratchet straps, and I've got the bike racks on the roof. So let's go and see what sort of bike you can get for £5.20 off eBay. See you in a minute. So that's it all loaded up. I'll give you a better look when I get home. I reached out on one of the Facebook groups to try and get some identification on this, and several people actually informed me that it's most likely a Gundle bike. At the moment I'm happy with my purchase. Let's see how long that lasts, shall we? I reckon the tyres could do with a quick bump up. Maybe a bit of a recover of the seat, quick lick of paint, a few drops of oil, and I reckon we'll be ready to go. I was just looking for the link so that I could split the chain, and I found this. Someone's ad-libbed with a nut and a small bolt, not just there, but there as well. Fantastic. So I'm going to get that removed, then I'll get it pressure washed. So the cleanup revealed one thing: the chain was the only thing that was actually holding the back wheel in place. It also revealed some kind people have put metric nuts on the spindle thread and absolutely ruined them. So that's going to be fun as well. I was originally just going to dump this chain, but then I figure, well, I'm not going to be using the bike as such, so why not try sticking it in some rust treatment, see what happens to it. So that's what I'm going to do. If it turns out to be okay, then I can just re-rivet the bolted on links and hope for the best. There we go. Upon closer inspection, the wheels don't actually look too bad structurally. Yeah, they're missing a couple of spokes here and there. Spokes look reasonably okay. Tyres, obviously, no chance. So we'll get them removed. As luck would have it, only one of the threads on the end of the spindle had been damaged by a metric nut, so the other one came out comparatively easily. God knows what the rear wheel is going to be like, because both of them have been damaged. I've got a feeling this might be one of the easiest of jobs I'm actually going to get to do on this bike. Quite therapeutic as well. Got a feeling I might be using quite a bit of white spirits on this project. The more observant of you will notice that I've made absolutely zero progress getting the handlebars or the pedals off. Everything is rusted, seized and bent. The chain's been festering away in this deoxy for some while now, probably over a week I'd say, and I did once take it out to give it a quick loosen up and put some new deoxy solution in, which has now gone completely black. So let's get it out and see what it looks like. And before anyone says what a massive waste of time and effort, you're a fool, Alex. Yep, I would normally agree, it's not worth doing, but you've seen the state of the rest of the bike and I'm tight as a nut's chuff. Time to get them pedals removed. When in doubt, get the grinder out and then start drilling. Lots of drilling. Success. Just got to get the other side off now. Once I've removed all these bearings, that is. Maybe I should have left them in place first of all. Might have made life a bit easier. Possibly wouldn't have lost one or two either. Now that the main pedal crank's been removed, I've got to turn my attention to the pedals, which is going to leave me with a bit of an issue. Firstly, I don't think there's any way I'm going to get these flat-headed shafts removed, and secondly, they're a mismatch of pedal anyway. So the obvious solution was buy some more stuff off Marketplace. These were all attached at the time, so I've taken the pedals off just by removing the end caps and then unbolted them, taking the bearings out, etc. So I'm hoping that doing the same to this is going to mean that I'm going to be able to slot these on. Yes, they are rally, but they are in much better condition, and they are at least a matching pair, and they were cheap. Once the cap's removed, the only thing holding it in place is this little nut here, which actually feels reasonably loose. So we get that off, but remember, there's bearings on the top, there's bearings on the bottom. Last thing you want to do is remove the pedal without putting something down to hold the bearings in, otherwise they'll fall out and go all over the floor. Ask me how I know. So this little thing here is, I would say, the bearing retainer cup. As you can see, the bearings are moving around. That is threaded onto the shaft, which means getting it out, especially when it's in this condition, isn't that easy. So what I've done is I've just cleaned all the threads off to make sure it gives it a bit of better movement, and I've given it good lubrication. Then the only thing I'm going to do then is just put a screwdriver in and gently turn, there we go, the actual leg itself, and that should just give me just enough movement to get a bit of purchase on it with something else, hopefully my fingers in a bit. The inner ones were a small type bearing and the outer ones were a large one, so I'm not sure about that, but we'll see once I start mixing and matching all the pedals. Next thing is clean it all off in paraffin, then start getting it in some rust solution. So surprise surprise, bit of a big problem. I knew that the pedals were obviously mismatched, but it doesn't look as though the problem ends just there. The pedal arm on the left hand side compared to the one on the right hand side is smaller. This means that these replacement pedals fit fine on that one, but not on that one. So that's going to leave me with a bit of an issue, a bit of a conundrum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all this cleaned up, work out what I can and what I can't do, and it might be a case of replacing them all with a spare set. I don't really want to do that, but it's obviously going to be the easiest option. But whilst I'm cleaning all that lot up, off camera of course, I'm going to have a go at removing those forks. But a little bit of a top tip, just in case anyone's not thought about it. Zip bags. Put all your parts in a zip bag, zip it up right where it's come from. Easy, nothing gets mixed up or lost, hopefully. So while I'm trying desperately to get those forks removed using heat, oil and blood, sweat and tears, and secretly wondering why on earth it was that I invested £5.20 in a pile of rusty old scrap metal, I thought I'd get on to one of the more important jobs involved in this little build, and I'm pretty certain it's one that you'll all be looking forward to. It's time to sort the bell out. When I found out that the bell was actually rusted and seized solid, I was most disappointed. But me being me, I thought, well, I'm not going to give up. Let's see what we can actually do with it. Well, that's going better than I thought. A lot better. Oh dear. Looks like a case for deoxy, followed by a strip down, and then probably more deoxy. Rust, you've messed with the wrong person here. So it's only had a quick overnight soak in the deoxy, and Look, we have some movement. Still really sticky though, so going to stick that in for a few more nights, maybe a week. Then I'll get it stripped down, cleaned up, and then hopefully it'll be ready to go back on the bike, which will be about the only thing that will be ready to go on the bike. No end to the excitement on this channel, is there? So this is where I'm going to leave the video for now. I did manage to get all the pedal shafts off, all the pedal arms off there, and that was quite challenging to say the least. I broke 3 pedal spanners and lost a lot of sweat over it. But anyway, the reason I'm doing this is so that I can fit the spare pedals, which came off a rally, with all the original bearings, so it's all matched, and that should work out a lot better, whereas the other one was obviously mismatched. I have also been ordering as well, so I have got packages waiting to go into this. I was hoping to keep the spending down to less than £50, but I'm very certain I'll be reaching that target very soon. I've also got some paint as well, which cost me nothing, and I do have a sprayer as well, so the idea is if I get some decent weather, I'm going to spray the frame myself, so we'll see how that goes. I've done spraying before, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you look forward to seeing the rest of the build of this old bike. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.